Hello and welcome to everyone across the nation joining today's workshop on how to interrupt a test in progress. This is Martha Perez with the CASAS Technology Support Team, and I will be presenting today's workshop. Now, this workshop focuses on interrupting delivery of CASAS e-tests online, web-based tests, by demonstrating how to pause, score, and abort or cancel a test in progress at the testing station and from the management console. A certified proctor performs these steps when managing sessions and administering tests. Online help is available on our website. Oh, excuse me, this is the wrong screen, but this is one of 23 complimentary CASAS Online Implementation Basics workshops. Now, we highly recommend attending as many workshops as possible to learn about best practices and ask questions to become confident in using the online system. Here we go. Online help is available on our website from training and support, e-tests, online help, TOPS Pro, enterprise help. You will want to be sure and bookmark these as your electronic go-to resources. Now, electronic resources are updated periodically, so going to them will help to ensure you are receiving the most current information. And information for today's workshop comes from e-tests online help, CASAS online guide. Okay. Now, in the online user guide, on section 4.4, testing irregularities as well as interrupting a test in progress. All right, folks. Now, before we get started, I want to be sure and point out where you will find access to CASAS e-tests online and as well as TOPS Pro Enterprise Online. Now, please notice the URLs I just pasted in the chat box. Okay. Now, this is the main domain name address you will use when your agency is set up with an online database. This is commonly referred to as the production server where live data is produced. Now, for today's workshop, we will be using a simulation server. Now, this is available to anyone wanting to experiment and explore our online system without risk of compromising live data. So this is another website that you need to take note of. Now, you will find information on how to access the simulation server on our website from training and support, e-tests online help, getting started, and download the simulation server document. Oops, there we go. All right, folks, well, let's begin, and please feel free to ask questions along the way. Right? Now, interrupting a test in progress is considered a testing irregularity. A testing irregularity or suspected irregularity must be reported to the site-based coordinator on the day it occurrences. Now, in many cases, the coordinator can determine if, in fact, an irregularity occurred. Now, depending on the nature, the irregularity may be resolved at the local agency on the same day with little or no inconvenience to students. Now, when a testing irregularity cannot be solved at the local agency, we ask that you submit a testing irregularity report, or TIR, within the same day of the occurrence or the next day at the very latest. Now, a fillable TIR is available for download from our website, from Training and Support, e-tests online help, Test Administration, reporting a testing irregularity report. Now, examples of local agency testing irregularities include, but are not limited to, administering, let me download this really quick, includes administering a test to the wrong test taker, cheating, illness, this is what it looks like. It includes also, it can be a fire drill, it can be a computer malfunction, a network or internet connectivity problem, Any occurrences at the local agency requiring a proctor to interrupt a test in progress is also a testing irregularity if it involves suspending, scoring, canceling, or aborting the test. Now, in this workshop, we will demonstrate two methods to interrupt a test in progress at the testing station and from the management console. Right? Now, for review and to prepare for demonstrating how to interrupt tests, proctors must sign in into the management console to start sessions when preparing for testing. Now, on a proctor station, launch the web browser. In this case, we're using the Rolling Hills. Now, for the main, this is the main domain web page. Now, we're going to click Sign In. Okay. Now, we're going to enter user credentials. A registered proctor, as I previously said, is the one that manages the session. Click Login after entering the credentials. Now, from the application management, click on Testing Sessions. Now we're going to filter testing sessions to minimize this list. So I'm going to click on the Filter By button. I'm going to select my campus. And on the session description, I will select Contains. And then I will type the word Intake. Click the Refresh button. You can minimize and retract your filter. And I'm going to start my session. Acknowledge the hours of responsibility for this session and then click Start. Great. I started my session. Now, then in the lab, to prepare computers for testing, proctors go about the lab and launch the web browser, which is this. Let's just pretend we're on the machine, on the testing station, and launch the web browser, etestonline.org. In this case is the Rolling Hills database. And then we're going to click on Administer Test. Okay? So you're going to click the run the executable file. So to connect with the online hosted server. Now, and download the test delivery system and secure browser application on the testing station. Now, this refresh button is a security feature. Even though the testing station is activated, a test will not be delivered until the proctor adds the station to an active session. Now, proctors add stations to active sessions on an ad hoc basis. Now, this is a good practice and adherence to test security. Now, the proctor is now ready for managing sessions and administering tests as students arrive. Okay. Now, under certain circumstances, a proctor may need to interrupt a test during administration. Your agency should have a local policy for permissible interruptions that will not likely compromise the integrity of the assessment. Now, tests can only be interrupted when the student is in protected test content, not on practice. Now, proctors may interrupt a test from the testing station or from the management console. Now, depending on where the interruption is initiated, the online application behaves slightly different. Now, from the testing station, proctors use the Control+E key command. Now, from the management console, proctors use an Intervene button. Now, we will demonstrate both methods for comparison. Now, the first demonstration is to briefly pause a test and then return to the test. Now, to begin testing at the station, the proctor will add the station to an active session. I'm going to return to my browser, to my testing session. This is the management console or the session activity window. Okay, now click the Add Stations at bottom left of the session activity window, and then select the station and add to the testing session. Okay. Now, click Refresh to start this testing in progress. Perfect. Now enter the user ID and click Continue. And now we're going to enter the name. And then click the forward arrow to proceed. Now we're going to save the new student record. Now at the test menu, click the Reading Test button. Okay, now these are the directions. It will tell you what form you have, how many practice questions and directions. Now we're going to click the Next button to begin the test. And these are practice items. Okay, right. Going to apply those responses to the practice items, and now it's where we're going to begin our reading test. Okay, we're going to answer by applying or clicking on the box that I want to choose as an answer. You can also click on anywhere around the space bar here. You can also and then click the forward arrow to continue to the next item. On the upper left, you can see the time remaining, the name of the person, ID, items remaining, and you can pin and unpin this toolbar. Okay, I always like to show it pinned. Now you can also use the Enter button on your keyboard to skip a question or to pass on to the next one. I'll say no. And now is where we're going to interrupt the test. Now, at the testing station where we are at, use the Control plus E key command. I need to click somewhere here. Okay, now the Control plus E key command does not... Oh, there we go. Now this gives you 4 options to end and score the test, cancel and delete the test, exit and suspend the test, and return to the test. Now, a test may be interrupted to momentarily pause the test timer, for example, to allow the student to use a restroom or, let's say, step outside the lab to answer a call. Now, after momentarily interrupting the test, click the Return to Test option to allow the test to continue and finish the test. Now the test continues at the same place when interrupted. The test timer will also start up again with remaining time to complete the test. Now 1 WTU is decremented when the test is finished. I'm going to continue and select random answers to these items. All right. We're going to select a few more. Now, if you believe the students spent already enough time and effort on the test, even though time remains to complete the test, for example, if you observe the student is struggling through the test, now at the testing station, you can use the Control plus E key command and select Score the Test option to end and score and record the test. Now the test will end without the student finishing. The student has no possibility to return to this test any longer. The test is scored and is recorded, and then the personal score report displays with summary results. 1 WTU is decremented because the test was ended. Now click the forward arrow and return to the test menu. Now let's begin another test. At this time, we will cancel it without scoring or recording. Now at the test menu, we're going to click the Math Test button. Now here you will find directions and then click Next. I'm going to select, these are my sample responses. Okay, good. Now we're going to begin the test. Now randomly, I'm going to answer a few items. Now filling in the blank for whatever reason to cancel a test. At the testing station, use the Control+E key command. Now select Do Not Score the Test and End It Now. Now this will cancel the test, and then the screen returns to the test menu. Now the test is not scored or recorded. Now this is why the Math Test button is still enabled. Now all answers are deleted. Now if this option is used during a pre-test after the locator is completed, the application deletes the pre-test but not results from the locator. Now 1 WTU is decremented for the completed locator. No WTU is decremented if the canceled test is a pre or post test. Now we will go through the same options to interrupt a test, but this time from the management console. Now let's begin. Let me go back to my management console. And let's begin the math test again. Right. So let's begin this one again and answer a few items, all right? Let's do this. My practice items. Now this is my test. My math level A test. All right, now that I've answered a few items, I'm going to go back to my management console. As you can see, the student that I selected or that I logged in as, Susie student, is remaining time left, questions that I've answered, and the last activity when I entered that. Now, at this time, we will use the Intervene button from the Session Activity window to interrupt the test in progress. Now let's click Intervene. As you see, a Student Session Management pops up, gives you the same information or the same options when using Control+E key command from the testing station. Now, for example, score is the same from either approach, abort is the same as do not score at the testing station, and disconnect is the same as exit at the testing station. Now, the next workshop on how to reconnect suspended tests will demonstrate exit and disconnect options. Now, to interrupt this test and not score it, from the pop-up, select abort and then click OK to confirm. Now, this cancels the test. The test is ended and not scored, and all answers are deleted. It's as if the test never occurred. Now, we're going to go back to our testing station. Now, when the Intervene is used at the management console, the proctor must remember to return to the testing station to clear screen. Now this is because the test delivery system is interrupted. Now at the testing station, click the forward arrow. Now this is the pop-up message that informs the proctor of the interruption. Now we're going to click OK. The student is automatically logged out of the testing application and the test screen returns to the ID input field. Now for our last demonstration, let's log in again as a student to score the test from the management console. Now at the testing station, we're going to enter the same ID as our student for today. Click continue. Excuse me. Are you Susie student? you need to confirm. The student is asked to confirm their identification and click yes. Now at the test menu, click the Math Test button. After directions, we need to take our practice tests. And then begin our test. We're going to randomly select a few items. Okay. Now, from our management console, we're going to click the Intervene button once again from the session activity window to interrupt and score the test in progress. Now, from Student Session Management pop-up, click Score. Now, from the pop-up, click OK to confirm. Now, the test ends and the student has no possibility to finish the test. One WTU is decremented because the test was ended, scored, and recorded. Okay. Now, because the test delivery system is interrupted, I'm going to go back to my testing machine. And so it was interrupted when intervene is used at the management console. Now, the proctor must remember to return to the testing station to clear the screen. Now, at the testing station, we're going to click the forward arrow. Now, the student is automatically, we're going to click OK to this pop-up to confirm. And now the student is automatically logged out of the testing application. And now the test screen returns to the ID input field. Now, note the difference when scoring the test from the management console is that the personal score report is not displayed at the testing station. Now, a copy of the personal score report may be retrieved from TopsPro Enterprise. When testing is finished for the session, proctors should click the exit link at the top right of each testing station to close the testing application. Remember to also return to the management console and stop all the sessions that were started previously. So from the session activity window, click Manage and then stop this session. Since we're finished working in the eTest management console, click the back link at the top right of the management console screen to return to the main menu. And now click the logout link at the top right. Now this returns you to the login screen. However, you are not completely disconnected from the server. Now for security, exit the application at the top left by clicking the web browser back arrow. Now you're completely disconnected from the server and return to the main domain web page where you started. Congratulations! Now, each workshop in a set of CASAS. So does anybody have any questions in regards to all the information I've shared about aborting or administering tests? All right, folks. Now, each workshop is in a set of CASAS Online implementation basics builds on the last in a logical progression for helping you to get up and running with the online system. Now, if you missed a workshop, we posted a playlist from past recordings so that you may review a previously attended workshop or preview upcoming workshops. And you will find this on Training and Support, eTest Online Help, Workshop Recordings, the CASAS Online Implementation Basics. Or you may also find it from our social media newsroom on our YouTube channel. Any more questions, folks, before we wrap it up? All right, well, please note the information I pasted in the chat box about our technology support team. The support team is available to provide any technical assistance you may need to ensure successful implementation. Now, this email alerts a support team that includes several members. Now, communicating to the larger group will help us to ensure you receive a timely response. Also, team members are available from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and this is Pacific time, so you have it in mind. All right, folks. Now, we look forward to you joining us on our next workshop on how to reconnect a suspended test. Thank you for your time, and this concludes the workshop on how to interrupt a test in progress.